Good evening and welcome to the Coach's Box. Ray Halbrook here from Livestream STL. Hope you guys are having a great evening. We are here at La Pachanga's in Herculaneum, as we normally are. We've got the boys here today with us here, and along with a new face. And I'll let Mr. Miller do all of the introductions here. But Chris, how you doing, my friend?
You got to turn me on. There you go. Okay, hey, I can hear myself now.
There you go.
I'm over here just living the dream. I don't know what dream it is. But dreams can be nightmares. Anyway, this one's okay. I'll let you know after the show's over.
Okay.
How bad I butchered
Your nightmare's over now. I mean, full-time at Pius and everything. You're doing well.
No comment. No comment. There might be people that watch this that feel a little different.
Oh, okay.
I mean, Zach, he has a lot of, time put in at that place. We're talking about a specific place.
Around here.
Like, man, come on.
I wasn't naming places. I'm just saying you got your full time over there.
I was talking about him just hanging out at Festus. I didn't know what you guys were getting at here.
You mean Festus La Pachanga? Is that what you're talking
No,
about?
this is a great place. This is where dreams come true here.
Pachanga.
I mean, I don't know I didn't get a chance to eat like you guys did, so I'm a little sad.
You're missing out, buddy.
I know.
You missed out.
Really upset. Anyway, let's get going with the show and talk about the stuff that really matters. We got Coach Jarvis is here again this week. He's not delivering pizzas. Coach Blair is still not wearing a hat. And we have a new special guest who's going to join us, and we'll see how things work, and we'll have a secret ballot to see if you stay around, is Coach Zac McVey, who's the new girls basketball coach at Jefferson R7 High School. And we're really happy to have Zach here.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
I seriously can't wait for Hoops for Hope this year. These two. Hopefully Blair doesn't get kicked out of the JV game beforehand. But I mean,
Are you guys doing a 4-game night for that?
Every year?
I think so.
Every year.
Wow. Where's it at this year?
It's at our
It's at Blue Jay Land.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to be
That's
there.
my favorite place to go.
I've got to find a way to be there. We might cancel the game we have so I can go to that.
That would be fun.
Or I'll just let one of the coaches do it. Like, what, I think I'm going to go watch
You're
this.
7 the coaches you have on staff.
7?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, really? He's talking about how many coaches
I mean,
are
I
on
was about to say, like,
I mean, he has sometimes more coaches on the bench than players.
Maybe.
No, I mean, that might have been before, but now he's got like 70 kids in the program.
No, that's true.
Hey, by the way, you know what cuts are, right?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Sure do.
I mean, there's been times I wish I had that many. Like, whenever I only had 8 kids and we played Herculaneum last year. Anyway, so we're not going to get into that one. But anyway.
Here we go.
We'll wait till Tara Lynn gets here.
At some point she'll be here, and then we can definitely get some audience questions.
Hey, happy anniversary, Tara Lynn. It's my 3-year anniversary today.
Oh, congratulations.
I got to get that out of the way.
Yeah, what'd you get her?
Yeah, I got to get it. What did I get her?
Just get her dinner.
What time?
Right
What time does Amazon deliver it? Is that why you're watching your phone for the tracking?
No.
No, it's okay. It's okay. All right. So anyway, hopefully we have a good show tonight. Today we're going to talk a little bit about shooting because I think that's an important part of basketball. Shooting is, and some other stuff as far as coaching is concerned. Like, and I think this is a really good topic about dealing with underclassmen who are just as talented as upperclassmen. I think that's a really good, it's a tough thing when you're a coach to have to deal with that because it's very tricky, and you want to make sure you say the right things and do the right things to get both kids or multiple kids to raise their level of competition. But we'll get to that later, so that's a little teaser for anybody who might be watching, all 5 of you. So now let's talk a little bit about shooting because that's – go ahead.
Before you do that, we know that we're talking about tonight in segment 3. I'm gonna turn it to Ray real quick. He had made an announcement earlier today about some stuff, right. And I want to kind of let him talk about that again because I think that segment 3 is going to be an important part of the show tonight.
Yeah. So segment 3, we're going to take your questions, and the questions basically kind of look like this, as everybody's kind of reading their notes. I'm stalling for them here, but we're going to take your questions on any particular game that might have been a funny game or maybe the funniest thing you might have ever seen with any of these coaches, and we'll even ask Zac McVey if you've got any fans out there as well. So
probably not. Probably
not. Save your questions or save your moments and your stories for that third segment. And we also have a little tribute to our golf game that we had this past weekend as well. So we'll talk a little bit about that as well. So
just remember, Zach, too, if you want to throw any of those funny stories out here, we're voting to see if you get to stay on the island. Okay? But no, in all seriousness, let's get back to it. So we talk about shooting. And it's kind of important with this game that we all coach.
I agree.
I mean, so, let's jump in on this a little bit. When you guys are teaching shooting, what's some of the stuff that you guys talk to? You get a kid who's coming into your program, whether it's a ninth grader or, if it's a junior or whatever level, you start reaching your kids, middle school. What do you start teaching those kids? Zach, you're our guest tonight. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to prove yourself a little bit.
Sure.
Go ahead, jump in here. Let's see. Go ahead.
Well, I think as all great coaches, what they do is they like to steal things, right?
I agree.
So I'd like to steal the Jackie Stiles, her philosophy when it comes to shooting. She talked about, she has that acronym BEEF. So you remember the old, what was it, Wendy's commercial, Where's the Beef? Mm-hmm. That's kind of what we talk about with our kids, and it's balance, eyes, elbow, and follow through. And so really what we try and teach is you got to make sure you're balanced, your feet are balanced, make sure your eyes are the correct part of the rim. Your elbows, we talk about make all your L's, whether it's at your wrist, at your elbow, and then especially the follow-through. I think definitely for girls, that's the most important thing is the follow-through. Great. Because, with the back half of their muscles, triceps, shoulders, if they don't work that out, sometimes that follow-through is a sticking point for them. So we just kind of reiterate, where's the beef?
Good. I like that. I know Coach Blair has a lot of shooting that he's done in his program.
Yeah, I tell you,
getting shots.
Wait, listen.
Cross half court.
A shot is better than a turnover because at least there's an outside chance the ball goes through the rim.
Well, here's what I'll tell you. A lot of people in the last 5 years, I've done a lot of different scenarios when it comes to shooting, but we kind of implemented a little bit of the Grinnell system about 5 years ago.
And for all of our listeners who have no idea what that is, give a little snippet of the Grinnell system.
Yeah, I'm going to hear a little snippit.
But let's hear a little bit about this.
Because I was told I should run it too, so I want to see.
Well, I'll tell you, a good friend of mine and used to be my old boss at Herculaneum, Dr. Rob Bradshaw, kind of came to me. We were after we had a good season, and just was really struggling to compete against bigger, better schools. And he said, hey, let's sit down and talk a little bit about basketball. And kind of threw out some ideas and was talking to me about the Grinnell system. Well, the Grinnell system is, you basically play 5-on-4 on defense. So they have 5 and you have 4. You have a girl sitting or a guy sitting at half court, basically. You get the rebound, you throw the ball down to her, and she goes down and shoots a layup or a 3-point shot. And then whenever you retain the basketball, you have 8 seconds to shoot. So basically, we're going to get a shot up every 8 seconds from when we touch the basketball on one end of the floor to the other. We did that for a good solid 2 years. Was very successful at it. 2 years, and we won 19 and 22 games those 2 years. Had some kids scoring a lot of points. We were averaging about 73 a game. That's a pretty high number in girls basketball. We were averaging around 95 to 100 shots a game, 45 to 50 of those being threes. So you take a lot of that in consideration. A lot of your kids have to learn how to shoot, and what does it mean by shooting? We focused a lot on technique. We're considering the elbow to the eyebrow. We talk about that a lot when it comes to it. The most important thing about it is we tell our kids, keep your elbow to your eyebrow when you finish. And if your elbow's not to your eyebrow, then it's not doing well. And Coach O'Connell come in the last 3 or 4 years, Chris O'Connell, which is the assistant coach at Webster University, and he's been really beneficial to our program when it comes to shooting, as well as my assistant coach, Jim Vaughn. Both of those two people have been very instrumental into what we do shooting-wise, but their biggest focus is all about, quality, taking a good shot. Not necessarily putting up as many shots as you possibly can, it doesn't really do you any good if you're not doing it the correct way. And I think that's something that we take a lot of pride in at Herculaneum, and I think that's what some of the focus that we've had is trying to take some good quality shots, especially in the off season. But more importantly, anytime you had a ball in your hand, taking quality shots instead of just throwing up 300 or 400 or 500 shots and not being any purpose.
That makes sense to me. I mean, you'd think the law of averages does kick in at some point, though, too.
Well, it should, you know.
Coach Jarvis, let's get your thoughts.
Piggyback on something he was talking about quality of shots and something in boys basketball that I've learned. I watch Stefan Martinez from down south. He does a lot of training with Dig Deep basketball, and my sons went to a lot of his stuff, and Dalen Parks over at 34 Hoops, and I've watched them do some different drills with shooting. And one of the things I try to emphasize with my boys, it's always, if we're going to shoot, let's do it at game speed and make sure we're doing shots that we're going to do in a game. Mm-hmm. So not necessarily, hey, I'm going to sit at the three-point line and I'm going to take my set three-point shot and sit there and shoot 400 of them. I want them moving. I want them shooting off both legs. I want them doing things that maybe normally wouldn't be thought of doing. Like you're on the right side and the right-handed layup, you're supposed to go off your left foot is what we were always told. Well, nowadays, sometimes you have to go off your right foot to get it over a bigger defender or underneath a bigger guy. So those types of things is what I try to teach. And one thing I had some trouble with was free throws. And Coach Stuberg, a guy that coached at Festus back when I was a young kid, taught us get a routine at the free throw line. And my routine's always been, ever since then, I would say to myself 3 things: over the rim, backspin, follow through. And I would do that every time. I would dribble 3 times and say that in my head. Mm-hmm. And so I try to teach our kids, hey, get a routine up at the line. Because we struggled. We lost some games this year because of the free throw line. And
100%.
And that's one thing we got to get better at. And so get in a routine, and once you get in that routine, practice it over and over again.
I mean, and that's what I've always been told. One of the first things that when I started trying to develop my shot when I was a kid, my dad's old coach gave me a Steve Alford shooting video.
Steve Alford.
And I mean, not only did it talk about shooting, but there's little parts of it that would talk about, you know, how you need to be a better Christian and live your life, which I thought was kind of interesting and neat when it was put in the video. But he talked about a lot of those things with balance, making sure you have real good balance, because a lot of times kids have their feet together. And another part of it was, it's when, like Zach said, is getting that balance, elbow, eyes, and follow through. And I think follow through is not just important when we're talking about, you know, girls basketball, but boys basketball too, because if I'm 5'10" on a good day like I am, and I shoot right here, well, if my follow through is right here and you put your hand up, that's it. I can contest this. But if I'm shooting up and out, that makes me hard to guard. I always tell the kids, you need to get your elbow above your eyes and then reach up and like you're getting your hand in the cookie jar on top of the fridge, and Mom said no. And a lot of kids can somehow, you know, realize and visualize what that actually means, especially when you tell them no. But I tried to say, and for years I would always say shoot out of a phone booth. And then last year, of all times, one of my players, I want to front him out on here, said, "Coach, what's a phone booth?" And I thought, I am getting old. This is it. I got to change how I'm going to do this. Yeah. So it was shoot out of the phone booth, shoot up and out. And I think one of the biggest problems that I've noticed, and I've tried to make more note of it now than I ever have, is when a kid is holding the ball and I say, get in triple threat. And they have the ball, they don't bend their wrist. For whatever reason, with all the texting and all the video games, you would think a kid could bend their wrist. But they will hold the ball just like this. I don't know if the camera or where it is, Ray. So I'm just, if I'm holding the ball like this, before I can shoot, I have to bend my wrist back. And if I don't, then I'm going to start putting it back like this. If I'm going to shoot,
put it, huh?
Yeah, it's a shot put. That's why I tell them, like, are you good at track? Because you would be great. You get the ball off your palm. I don't want to get overly technical, but when I talk shooting, I like it. Space in between, and you want to get that thing, you want to get it right here, bend your wrist, and get the shooting tee. If you put it back here, you lose all your power. It looks like a shot put, and your follow-through is here.
Right.
So if I'm here, I'm up and out, and I can shoot up and out of the phone booth for all of us old people, or put my hand in a cookie jar.
I feel like you're talking to my son Dylan right now, because I don't know how many times I got to tell him, get that dang palm out of that shot.
Yes.
And the phone booth was something Coach Struberg, when I was a kid and went to basketball camps at Festus, that's what he talked about.
And it's a crazy thing too, and especially again when you're holding the ball, it's it's the kids who play football. Do you ever throw a football without the laces? And they said no, that's just stupid. I said, well, if you shoot a basketball without the seams, it's kind of stupid too. You have more control. I at least want 1-2 fingers on the seams. Get the hand in the middle of the ball. These 3 fingers are all about your follow through. And these 2 fingers hold the ball nice and wide. If they do that, then they have the space. And to watch a kid, and again, I always tell them, it takes 21 days to break a bad habit, so you're going to shoot like crap for a long time. But then if you dedicate yourself to this, you'll change your shot.
Right.
And which kind of brings us a segue to what we want to kind of talk about now is the quality over quantity or quantity over quality. At what age do you stop saying, okay, look, I'm not messing with your shot anymore. I've tried for the last 3 years, 4 years, whatever. You better just make it.
I'll answer that. That's about their junior.
Exactly.
About their junior year. I mean, we've been fortunate enough to have some quality players down in North County, and basically, that's some of the things that I've said is about, hey, you're a junior, senior. It's too late to work on your shot. Just put the ball in the basket. Whether it's the triangle that they're going to form with their arms, it might be outside or to the left or to the right, things like that. But yeah, I really at a young age, and it's getting close to the rim. You go, I bet if you walk in, 99% of the gyms in America, if a kid's going to pick up a basketball, where's the first place they're going to go shoot?
I'm going to go out here where Steph shoots.
Exactly. Instead of get right next to the rim, right over the front, you can work. We call it. Make the gooseneck, get the cookie out of the jar, and then start working your way back. But if we're going to talk about quality and quantity, I think it's a mixture. I really do. You've got to get that form first, and then it becomes muscle memory. And just like anybody is going to talk about, shooting a basketball is a diminished skill. If you don't do it, just like swinging a bat, swinging a golf club, you're going to lose that skill set. So you have to do it, and you have to do it time and time and time again.
I agree, 100%. I mean, I think that's the key. Is repetition. And if you don't get enough repetitions, you lose it. And that's a lot of what kids do today.
Newbie.
Newbie with the microphone here. Easy now.
We gave him the dummy mic.
It's part of the hazing process here. Don't worry about it.
We already ate. Sorry, I didn't mean to eat the mic.
But I think that's the key when it comes down to it. A lot of kids today, first thing they want to do is they want to go out there and shoot that 3. Right as soon as they get the ball in their hand, pick it off all the racket, they want to go up and shoot that 3. They don't realize the importance of making 5 or 10 layups in a row before they move out 2 feet, and then make 5 or 10 shots from there, and then move out 2 feet. They don't understand that. They think that putting up a shot is a quality shot, whether it's behind the arc, 3-throw line, or whatever. It's not necessarily the importance, and you talk about that quality and quantity. I don't care how many shots a kid puts up. As more importantly, is I want to make sure that they're putting up the correct shot the correct way. And we preach that on a daily basis in practice. Hey, if you're not shooting it the right way, you're doing a disservice to yourself because you're not going to get any better at it. You're just going to continue to have the same mistakes over and over and over again. And I think that's the thing that we try to get a lot of pride in and focus on is quality. I think it's more important.
Oh, well, something I've learned, and I don't know if Miller can agree with me here or not, but I coached girls basketball for a long time with Ken Jones, 9 years over there at Crystal, and girls are more apt to change their shot or to take a coach's advice.
Agreed.
All right? Because I've had some kids that had some terrible form. We could name them that have played for me at Herky, and by the time I've gotten them, they're not going to change their shot, a lot of them. And you can work with them all you want, and it's like, no, that habit, and like he said, it's going to take 21 days. If you've been shooting like that since you were 3 years old, one of the things I found with girls was using 2 hands, which you're going to have to work with my daughter. You got to use, we used to use those flat little
discs.
Yeah, discs.
Still have a whole drawer full of them. I had to use 2 or 3 of them today.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
and love it.
Man, must be nice to be able to
don't want to hear about
but
it.
anyway,
Don't talk about that.
And commercial, right?
but
Break!
yeah.
Whoa! It was a joke. It was a joke.
But yeah, that's, I mean, and I've worked with some kids try to improve their shots, but I just feel a lot of times at the high school level, they should. I'm lucky enough, I have Coach Goodwin, who was a varsity coach down there. Coach Vaughn comes in, who Coach talked about that helped him. He also helps on the boys' side when it comes to shooting. And we get a lot of guys that come in outside of our program that help. And that has helped me a lot when it comes to shooting. So I don't have to concentrate so much on teaching the form.
Right.
Well, I mean, you want to, especially if I see kids at a young age, and you want to try to get their form as correct as you can, especially when they're not as strong. And you try to teach them how to use their body. Otherwise, they're chucking it up like this with 2 hands, and they're thumbing it, and they're overcompensating because there's little things that they need to fix. Go ahead, Coach.
Well,
just jump in.
You know, like you were going to say, but that also goes back to distance. I mean, if they are young, yes, we know you want to shoot a three-pointer, but you're not ready for it. And I think hopefully as a parent that they would tell their kids that, hey, if it's 5, 10, 12 feet, and you might be a freshman in high school before you honestly think about trying to shoot three-pointers on a consistent basis, because you might physically may not be there.
How many junior high games have you attended recently? Because there's a lot of threes being fired up down there at the junior high games.
Must really put a lot of time in the weight room at those middle school, programs and stuff.
Yes.
Not in my experience. All my kids were little, and then they wanted to shoot the three, and they're chucking it from their hip. I think, and I agree with Zach. I always kind of look at the time between their sophomore year and their junior year on the boys' side. As far as you need to make changes now, and then I'm not going to mess with it too much. There's little things that they can fix, especially balance or getting your feet a little wider. But as far as how you hold the ball and those sort of things, you need to make sure that you get this fixed now. And I had that conversation with a couple of kids pretty recently saying, listen, you need to fix this. Otherwise, your green light or those opportunities, they go away, because basketball at this level is not equal opportunity. Yeah. As much as it's, hey, everybody gets this, everybody does that. That's not how it works, because we have the score up there, and not everybody gets to win.
That's right.
And so at the end of the day, when it's like you're trying to really develop the program, and I don't really care about the scores as much in freshman or in JV. It's obviously the varsity ones, because the varsity coaches are the ones that get fired. That's why I tell all the assistants that we're going to try to develop fundamentals at this age. When we get up here, they need to know it, like you said. So when they come to me, I want them to be able to shoot better. But then I also tell them in that 21 days, if you want to stick with what you've done, well, there's a reason why you're not shooting the ball very well. And a lot of times I'll tell a kid, do you watch the NBA? And the first one, oh, yeah, who's your favorite player? James Harden, LeBron, AD, and Curry, and those guys, Klay Thompson. Okay, who shoots like you? Because your shot looks like garbage. And if you don't shoot like these guys, and they can shoot, then you need to fix that and go with what they do.
Right.
And even though I'm not a fan of all those players I just named, they can all shoot the ball.
Great.
So fix your shot, and if you're going to watch it, then you need to learn something while you watch it. You need to mimic those things. And thank God Sean Marion still doesn't play.
You didn't bring up Ball
and
either. The Ball guy, the one that was with the Lakers.
Who gives a crap ball?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, there's a reason why. That's so bad. It's so awful.
Oh, yeah.
Makes my heart drop anytime a kid says that guy is a player.
Before we go to break, and we'll talk about this when we come back, but I think the lost art in basketball is the jump shot.
Yep.
And we'll talk more about that when we come back.
Or the mid-range.
The jump shot. I think that a lot of kids don't shoot a jump shot anymore.
I like it. We'll be right back.
Where's the game? Where's the game? Where's the game? There's the game. Livestream STL, now available on Roku.
I wonder what Coach Jarvis is up to.
Jason! What's up? What's up? Bah! Oh, hang on a minute. I got a call from Blair. What's up?
What am I doing? I'm sitting here watching the coach's box.
This must be a wrong number.
What's up?
This Livestream STL has been a huge asset for Jefferson County sports, in my opinion. I mean, getting these athletes the camaraderie that they're out there and people can see them. I mean, to be honest with you, I got a call from a coach yesterday about one of my athletes that said that they saw some of her games on Livestream STL.
Awesome.
So, I mean, that right there instilled to me that this is important. You know, this is important for those kids. And so, you know, I think it's great, and I wish you guys the best. You know, and if you're out there and you want to sponsor, this is a great opportunity for you know, kids to support kids of our local kids and get them support and get them acknowledgement out there, because we have a lot of great athletes in this county.
We appreciate that. And at the end of the day, our mission is much the same as your missions, coaches, to help shine a light on these kids. And get them exposure and get their name out there and help them. And if they can advance, they're better off, we're better off as a community, and that's why we're here.
We want to thank Joel over here at La Pachanga for having us in. Give them a call if you're interested in coming in and getting some great Mexican food here, 636-475-4888 or lapachangamex.com, located at 1185 Scenic Drive in Herculaneum. Also, thanks so much to Justin Neal being one of our summer Diamondcast, Jeffco Diamondcast baseball broadcast sponsors. You can catch him over off of 115 West Gannon Drive in Festus, or you can call him at 314-287-4572, or check him out on the web at festus.usa-mortgage.com. That's USA Mortgage, the home of possibility. We have a Diamondcast game coming up this Thursday, 7:30, where we'll be out at Rock Memorial. They'll be taking on the Phenom, and I'm sporting the Rock Memorial hat tonight in honor of that. But if you're interested in being a part of our sponsorship, broadcasting, advertising folks, you got to give us a call over at Livestream STL 314-852-4398 or Livestream STL at Outlook.com. Sponsor with us. And we go to our next segment. We've got some questions. We appreciate the folks that are asking questions. Should we just go ahead and do the questions at this point, guys?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if you want, you're the show. You're running the show a little bit for us.
I'm just facilitating.
I like
there you
it.
go.
I think we should do that.
There we go. So, questions here. I'm seeing, I want to go all the way back in here. I want to make sure I get it up. The very first question I saw was, if you can't shoot, teach them the rebound. Thoughts?
Well,
go ahead.
There are role players. You watched that Last Dance with Chicago, and they talked about how.
What was that show?
Oh, the Last Dance.
Oh,
Blair, have you ever watched that?
Have you finally watched that, Blair?
Did you watch it yet?
He still ain't watched it.
I have watched it.
Come
Yes.
on.
Okay.
Okay, hey, Jesus knows, man.
He does. He does.
Okay.
But they talked about all the different role players that they had to have. I mean, they had to sign Rodman. to try and win a championship. I mean, they got rid of Oakley so they could bring in Cartwright. I mean, there was several different transactions that they made to create a winning team. And I think I would say for a parent or even for an athlete, that's something that maybe they can, if they watch that show, that could be a takeaway to say, you know what? Yeah, you had the greatest player in the world ever playing, but they had to change their offensive system, and they had to bring in other people around them, the right type of people, to win multiple championships. And so, yes, your scoring's going to get your name in the paper, but it's all the other things that's going to help out as well.
I think that's a very important. Role players are the key to quality teams. I mean, good teams have better role players than they do significant players, and I think that's an important factor that I wish more kids would take a notice of. I think the role play, the role player, I mean, is now a little less importance than it used to be when we were playing back in high school. And I think that role player was such a big impact on teams. And I don't think kids understand that today. They all want they want that big pride of, hey, I made 30 points tonight, or hey, I had 20 points. The assist and the rebounds are a lost art when it comes down to it anymore. I think in today's high school portion of it.
Something I tell the junior high kids all the time at our junior high camp is handle the basketball you're going to play. I don't care if you can score. If you can bring the ball up and you can handle pressure defense on you and you can facilitate an offense and get the ball to the people that can score, I'm going to find a place for you on the court. And, I had some people that played. I mean, Austin Houston was a football guy out there playing basketball, but he knew his role. He knew, hey, I'm going to play good defense. Heck, Coach Jarvis is probably going to put me on their best player some tonight, and I got a rebound. And he came out and did that. And some kids aren't willing to just play that role. They want to be the superstar. And not everyone's a superstar.
Well, how are you going to get the girls if you don't get to see your stats in the paper? But saying you get 20 rebounds, well, heck, you're not going to see that. It's like, did you score any points?
Wasn't Rodman hanging out with Carmen Electra? Rebound?
Okay. So they're the second best rebounder that you've seen. No, I'm kidding. You're 100% right. And it's funny because you're trying to when you go out and you're playing this game and you're trying to get better as you grow up, you go and watch those games on TV and I did, and you go out and mimic those things you see and pretend that you're playing with the Bulls, and that's what I did growing up. I never did say, man, I'm just going to catch the ball off the rim all the time, and that's it. I'm going to pass to somebody else. But like you said, if you want to play, I tell kids, listen, I need somebody who can do this.
Right.
And whoever wants to jump in there and do that, you're going to get a chance to play. I don't care what age you are. I don't care if you're a senior. This is your opportunity to play if you want to do this, because it's not an equal opportunity game. It's just not.
Right.
And if you put time into your craft when it comes to shooting or dribbling, you're going to get a chance to play, because those are the two main things that we look for as basketball coaches that are essential to the game.
Yeah. I mean, think about it. You're going to get a number 1 draft pick, and for a high school team, what type of position player do you want first?
Point guard.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah, anybody got one?
Please.
So, I mean, that's one of the challenges that you try to get kids to understand, is how important it is to be a role player. So, yeah, rebounding is extremely important. Ray, do you got anything else for us? I put him on the spot. He had no idea. I was looking at him, and he had no idea.
Easy. I'm easy here. Here we go. Okay. So Christopher Taylor wants to know, who's the better bowler?
Not me.
I'm terrible. I'm awful. Blair's probably he's been in a league and all kinds of stuff.
I guess that might be me.
What is your bowling average?
It depends on what house I'm in. But,
here we go.
The Quonset, I was running about a 208, 209.
Whoa.
260 on the Wii.
The Wii doesn't count.
But when we go to Arnold's a little tougher house, I think I was 198 or something like that. So
less wax or more wax?
A lot more wax. A lot wetter up there. So a lot harder to keep hold of the ball down here. But I think the most important thing here.
He probably had the shiniest bowling ball.
It's like, man, I'm sweating a lot. Okay.
I'm sure he had the shiniest.
Man.
But I think
shade being thrown.
That's a little bit of shade, huh? Thanks, I appreciate it, guys.
We all have our shade on.
That's right.
Yeah. So especially because of these lights that Ray brings in.
No shade. No
we gotta
shade
be able to
here.
see you guys.
That's not important.
Everybody was giving me trouble that about Friday at the golf tournament.
Chris
about the same
Taylor
thing.
says way too high, Riley Blair. So he must have bowled with you.
Yeah, he was the manager of Quonset Lane.
So the truth comes out.
It's like
a
good fisherman there.
Here we go, Chris. Now, Chris, you're in trouble, buddy. You're in trouble. You're in trouble.
I know. I was wishing Waits or one of those guys would jump on here.
They will. They will.
Just a matter of time.
Next question from Terry Good. If you had to pick right now which team would be at the top this coming season?
What?
Here it is again. If you had to pick right now which team will be at the top this coming season?
No, I got the question, but you're
for high school.
I mean, we talking
local, probably conference.
It's Terry Good, so I would imagine it's high school.
Local.
Well, I think Herky won it last year for the girls.
I think Herky's
so
got
I think
a chance
they're it till somebody beats them.
I don't know about both.
I think
girls.
I think Herky boys and girls have a chance to sweep. Maybe at all levels, from what I've been told.
I would think that Bruce, wait,
are you playing there?
We're there.
No. That might be a little tougher.
Tough place.
It's a tough place. I hear Perryville's really tough to play.
Tough place to play.
I see a better question. I'm kind of dancing around that one, but Coach Buddy says,
that's a good question.
Are you coaches glad or sad to see the Jefferson County shootout go away? I'll go first. I'm not upset at all. I mean, I know that media is, and
I'm very upset.
Well, I get that, but it isn't a win-loss record for you. And and the pairings, I played the same team 2 out of the 4 years I've been out there or whatever. Played the same team twice. I mean, and Crystal had to do that 2 years in a row. If we're not going to mix it up, we're going to keep playing the same teams. And
I wish they would.
Pius was one of the only schools that really contended on the boys' side. Now this year, I guess Pius. You won, right?
Yeah, I mean, we made it really interesting.
Yeah.
We won. So there was some small schools that won, but historically, for the guys, it's been blowouts a lot of times.
Well, I think that was the hardest thing was it's so early in the year, and your teams really haven't started to really start playing yet. I think if they would have moved that to later in the year and took the number 1 seeds on both sides, and then whoever the oddball team was that wasn't in that range, then they would bring in a team and have that date set up, knowing, that whoever that team is who they're going to play, regardless of their competition or whatever. But I think that was something that a lot of it was when I think you go into those meetings as ADs, I think they were, just trying to pick and choose the best competition, the best matchups. But sometimes the best matchups were the same matchups year after year after year. And I don't know if that was necessarily beneficial for the pickleball and the community to come out and watch.
Yeah, and if you're a big school, you're expected to win. Mm-hmm. And then if you lose, then you're ridiculed for losing.
Right.
And if you're a small school, you're not expected to win. I mean, and I don't know. I just – if they would have set it up a different way, like he said, maybe a different time of the year, or maybe we brought in a different conference and we stayed about the same size school. So, 2 years in a row I played Festus. Right. And we had no business playing them.
And I think that's what I'm alluding to. I think more importantly that when you play that early in the year and you're playing against you made the same 2 teams, maybe us and Festus girls were playing every year because we were, let's say we were the one side on both sides. We play each other. Well, we just got done playing a week before that. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of a catch-22. You want to make sense, but you also want to put the best matchup, but then you don't want to play the same team you just got done playing, vice versa. So it just really put a damper onto it. The timing, I think, is more important than anything else.
And I think if you go back and you look at the history of it, the JCC split, it used to be it was small school, large school combined. Mm-hmm. And then they made the decision to completely split small school, large school, and nobody – from the small school and large school were going to play each other. I think that went down for maybe a year or two. But then I think maybe the competition level from small and large school kind of got,
even again.
Even again. And so they started hey, let's pick up a game. Instead of driving an hour down south or an hour up north, we have somebody 5 minutes in our backyard that now we can compete with, whether it's small or large. And so I think the desire was there to have that shootout, but then from a program point of view, it's like, well, we already play them. There's really no point in doing it. I think, that's probably why it ultimately went away.
One of the things that somebody just posted here was Jeff Whitener says the JCAA needs to play the MAAA in the shootout.
And I understand that argument, but you look at the boys' Christmas tournament, and it's basically the JCAA and the MAAA,
right?
And then you have the Hillsborough tournament. So then we would be playing each other again
on top of districts.
Yeah, and I'm going to jump back to what he said. I played R7 my first year, Windsor, Festus, DeSoto. Look at the population just in high school and kids of those schools. I mean, I just don't think it. I don't think it was good for the teams to go out there. And then a lot of times I played Friday night and turned around and played at 10 o'clock in the morning out at Hillsborough.
Or it was, or here you go, year one, it's ACT day, and you don't get your kids because that.
I think dancing around. I don't know how much you guys know about how things kind of were put together when it came to the shootout. But when it was first conceived, it was like, man, this is a great idea. Let's start doing this. When they all got in the room, it was, okay, we're not playing them, and they're not playing them, and everybody went around and said who they're not playing.
Right.
For years, there were teams that weren't going to play each other, and I'll just leave it at that. But the reason why you couldn't get that big draw was because a lot of those years there were matchups that they didn't get to have. Now, the other problem we have is there's not as many large schools as there are small schools.
Right.
So that made it different, or made it hard, because now you have to figure out who's playing, so you have to bring that team in, and it's not always a team that somebody really wanted to see. I know one year we had SLU High come down and play Hillsborough, and Hillsborough had a really good team. But wouldn't it have been nice for Hillsborough maybe to play one of the smaller schools that was one of the teams that was good that year? And I can't remember what year. It was probably either Vinny or Pius or somebody like that. But that, to me, that would have been made more sense. But because it wasn't, it was a great idea, but it just wasn't put together the right way, and that's why it just didn't take off like it needed to. It didn't get the media coverage. People didn't get behind it. There were the advertising and all of it. There's many, many things. I agree. The MAAA would be perfect.
It'd be awesome.
But at the same time, they're not going to want to do it because there's all that pride between the two. And exactly what Jason said, it's like, well, heck, we don't want to play you guys another 3 or 4 times. Let's just not do it. So that, and especially when we all have, like when I was at Grandview, we would schedule a lot of MAAA schools because they're relative in size,
and we do too. And so then you end up. I mean, me and you are in 2 tournaments together.
Yeah.
All right, and so I'm already in a tournament where I could face off against Festus or some of these big schools in our conference already down at Christmas time. So then you're adding the shootout too, and so they need to work on it to make it better, and it just never happened.
And I like what Terry Good said here. Why not bring in teams from out of the area instead of playing each other every year, and each team brings in a team to play out there.
Then you lose a home game.
Because
when you get into those shootouts, they're not preseason, but it's the first week of the year. Then you're always losing a home game, and you always lost a home game with the JCC shootout. You only get so many, and I know personally I would rather have the home game than lose that opportunity to have, whether it's a shootout.
That's a great point.
It just depends on how good we were. If we weren't very good, it's like we're going to play all the games on the road this year, so nobody comes. We don't have to worry about it. I can keep my job another year. I'm sorry.
And I do like that. I do like that concept. But I also think that if we want to talk about how quality of basketball we have in Jefferson County, I think we need to bring more people down here to see what the quality of it is. Because, let's just go to say that in the future, I don't see us being able to travel for a year or for an hour away to go play a game. It's just going to be the way of the past anymore. So we're going to have to play local anyway. So an opportunity would be able to bring some of those schools down here to Jefferson College to be able to participate in that. I think that would be important to get some of those teams down here and say, hey, look at what we got down here, playing against some high-quality teams, and just let them play a little bit.
Well, Jeffco's a nice place to play at, too. I mean, it is.
And they've redone it out there. I mean, it's got beautiful scoreboards, and, the seating is brand new out there. It's a real nice facility.
Yeah, I can't wait to watch the boys basketball team play out there. Oh wait, need to jump on that one.
Now he's bringing up some more stuff.
Yeah, let's just leave that one alone. Well, the music coming in our headphones means it's time to go to break, so let's kick it over to Ray Halbrook.
It is, and Zac McVey is fitting in real good so far, so I'm giving him high props right now.
Yeah,
so
we're still on the fence over here.
We'll still have a chat afterwards.
Yeah,
he is a Blue Jay.
That's right.
It's tough.
Hey, before we go to our break real quick, we'll let you know about our Main Street Sports Show. We're moving this to Friday this week because of the baseball game on Thursday night. But the time is to be determined, and we'll catch that here and get that to you as soon as we have the time. It's probably going to be in the afternoon. So we will be right back in just a minute.
And I'll say real quick, I really admire what you guys do with this. I think everybody who's ever tuned into one of these, whether it's a Legion game, whether it's a high school baseball game, with basketball, football, whatever it is, I've heard nothing but tremendous feedback about Livestream STL and what you guys do and the quality of production, things like that. I would really encourage anybody who's involved in athletics throughout the county, really anywhere in the metro area, anybody who's interested in sponsoring activities to get on board and get involved with this. I think it's added a ton to what we do here. It's added a ton to the program. You guys are a class act, and you're committed to doing things the right way, and we really appreciate that.
This Livestream STL has been a huge asset for Jefferson County sports, in my opinion. I mean, getting these athletes the camaraderie that they're out there and people can see them. I mean, to be honest with you, I got a call from a coach yesterday about one of my athletes that said that they saw some of her games on Livestream STL.
Awesome.
So, I mean, that right there instilled to me that this is important. This is important for those kids. And so, I think it's great, and I wish you guys the best. And if you're out there and you want to sponsor, this is a great opportunity for kids to support kids of our local kids and get them support and get them acknowledgement out there, because we have a lot of great athletes in this county.
We appreciate that. And at the end of the day, our mission is much the same as your missions, coaches, to help shine a light on these kids. And get them exposure and get their name out there and help them. And if they can advance, they're better off, we're better off as a community, and that's why we're here.
I wonder what Coach Jarvis is up to.
Jason! What's up? What's up? Man! Oh, hang on a minute. I got a call from Blair. What's up?
What am I doing? I'm sitting here watching the coach's box.
This must be the wrong number. We are back here. Thanks for watching the Coach's Box tonight. I wanted to let you know a little bit about what's going on the rest of this week here. I'll throw this in here. Tomorrow I actually have graduation over at the Windsor High School. We'll have that at 7:30, so that'll be on Livestream STL. Thursday we'll have Jeffco Diamondcast baseball between Rock Memorial and the Phenom at Rock Memorial Stadium. And if you're interested in helping us broadcast with your advertisement, we would love to have you on as advertising partners. Sponsor with us. Give us a call, 314-852-4398, or livestream stloutlet.com. Sponsor with us. And here's all of our outlets here, including our Roku channel. If you're interested in getting a hold of our Roku channel, log on to videos.tkdssports.com. Thank you so much to La Pachanga, the folks out here at La Pachanga. Give them a call, 636-475-4888, or lapachangamex.com. And finally, USA Mortgage, the home of possibility. Give Justin Neal a call at 314-287-4572, or festus.usa-mortgage.com. And we're going to roll into, we want to thank Brian Waits for having us out, Livestream STL, and our friends and family members and coaches, and you name it. We had a lot of great fun out there Friday for the Waits Financial Golf Tournament, and that is benefiting Special Olympics. So we put together a little about 5 to 6 minute video here of kind of how that went. So stay tuned and check this out. All right, we're here on Hole 18, and there's Stuart. There's Scott behind me. He's trying to be. There he is on the live stream STL hole, by the way, so everybody can see right there. So we got a wonderful game of golf going on here. Get ready to get started today over here at Oak Valley. I'm gonna have a good time. I've got Stuart from the pin here. That was beautiful. Lotta got to show off the softball swing. A little bit to the left. How about that?
And now I'm supposed to whisper because that's what you do as a golf announcer. And Ray Halbrook approaches. He approaches the tee. He's got the blue ball. He sure does. Look at that. Oh no, don't be doing that. We're gonna be, I gotta turn off the video if you're gonna be doing stuff like that. To the right. Yeah? The birdies will enjoy that. Alright, what do you think about your first drive there, Ray? Slice. No, it was straight shot that way.
Straight shot that way, get a lot to the right.
Oh, that's good.
That's a little too hard. Oh yeah. Just hope it didn't go over the top. Scott might be our ringer at this point.
Give me. Yeah. That's what we want.
On camera.
Foot wedge. Foot wedge. I love it. I like that. Let me get the best advantage. I'll come over this way. Oh yeah. Can I zoom? Well, how do you zoom in to find it?
Sally.
Yeah.
That was awesome. So we're partnered here with Riley Blair's group, who we've been trying to ping all day long. But Riley's right here, and I'm going to turn this around here real quick.
Show some leg up here.
Show some leg up there. Wow, that's nice. Yeah. So Riley sliced. We missed it. I'm going to make Kyle mad. I'm going to call him Carl. Come on, Carl. Nice to see you, Carl. There's a good one. There's a good one. Just a little short. They're here dressed to impress.
That's beautiful.
He's nice. He's liking it. Hold on, I'm working on it. They're gonna get a photo of me here. Good, Scott. You're looking good. The other guys. Yeah, nice. Don't be hating. I like it.
I'm very loud.
Make sure you're. I'm gonna start using profanity so you can't do it off.
Beep beep beep.
Well represented today.
With sexiness.
Blame it on the dress.
Caught the dress.
Straight.
I got a tree.
Come on, cart path. Give us a bounce. Address the ball with the dress. All right. He hits this one right. So, I gotta go get the.
There he is, in his teacher's outfit. He's going to take us all to school. Oh, gross. Can you go over there now? Ray Halbrook hitting with a dress. He's been doing it all day, but now he physically has the dress on. Let's see how well he does on this one. Swing and a miss. I think we should hit right on the green. You're capable. You are a capable sir. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Come on, Ray. Right in the sand. Bloop. Hey. You did hit it the farthest. Congratulations. Yeah, gross. Okay.
I thought mine was the farthest.
No, I think mine was the farthest. It just went the wrong way.
Mine's in the mess.
Mine was the straightest. Ray's gonna hit, but it's all over. Get up. Oh, yes.
It's findable.
It's seeable.
I'm at a loss for words.
Hey, and they're speechless here in Oak Valley.
It takes real talent to pull that off.
Let's see part 2.
Good enough.
That looks great. Make sure it's a good lie. I'm losing my words right now for never seeing that again. Give me a high five.
Hey, what thing do I get to sign for that?
Nobody can do that.
I'm gonna go move that drive thing over here.
Stick it right there. Nobody can hit the rocks twice.
Trick shots. Drive it home.
Oh, he's going for part 3.
Going for another one, folks. Chris Miller.
This could be part.
Going for it all.
Okay, if you hit the rocks 3 times, I got a $5 bill. Here, I don't have one. Here, you got one? Okay. This is part 4.
Look out, people.
Well, Ray, how do you feel about this particular hole?
We definitely have a lot of potential.
Yeah.
We don't know what kind of potential. It could be potential to be great.
Yeah,
Could be
potentially bad.
bad, but we have potential.
Yeah, and the game's not over yet. So we've got
potential for a show. Like a syndicated show. There it is.
Yeah, because everybody wants to watch that. Right there. This guy right here. Everybody wants to watch this guy right here.
With Chris Miller. Yeah.
Helpful tips with Chris Miller. Love it. Oh. Man. Hey, it's okay. It's okay. That's fine. I throw my clubs too. Don't worry.
So you can say we had a wonderful time out at the Waits Financial Golf Tournament benefiting Special Olympics. We appreciate Brian Waits for having us out, and we're rewatching a little bit of the and commentating at the same time. There's a little bit of a delay here, and the boys are sitting here kind of looking at. Chris Miller had a blast out there Friday afternoon.
I'll tell you what. I felt like Tin Cup.
Looked like Tin Cup.
No. Well, maybe when he was hitting it in the drink, that ball. It's the last one in the bag. That's a great line. So, yeah, that's kind of how I felt. I think I lost about 15 golf balls.
Holy moly.
But I also gained, I don't know how many of them.
That's one less a hole. That's not bad.
I know, right? I mean, there was a couple times I came out on top. Somebody else did find their ball.
You found 2 or 3? Or
I'm not going to say for sure one way or another. But, yeah, I did.
Oh, good.
You know, it was especially I can't remember what hole that is where that little ditch was. And it's on the video. I tried to hit that.
We were at 17.
Was it 17?
I think that was
I
the last
tried
one.
to hit that stinking ball through there, and it went backwards twice. It hit in the ditch, hit the rocks, shot straight up in the air, and came back. And I'm like, well, okay, I'm not. There's no way that's going to happen again. And sure enough, I have no idea. My golf game is so bad. I mean, it is really bad, as you can see. And thanks
But we
a
had a
lot.
good time.
Thanks a lot, Ray. It was for a great cause.
We did, yeah.
And I'm glad I provided comic relief for everybody.
Yep.
I'm all about that because I have no shame, obviously. So it's good. I'll be able to walk with my head up high, I guess, even through a clubhouse. Jarvis, you got to come with us sometime. And
Well,
do
now
this.
I know next year I definitely want to be in your group because me and you will have contests of who shoots worse.
I just let me drive the car. We'll be fine. Ray was like, I'm driving the car, so I was like, great. I'm going to be the guy who sucks and doesn't get to drive the car. So it is what it is. No, it's for a great cause. Brian puts on a great golf tournament. It's the first time I got to play in it. And you do get asked to play in other tournaments because they need that guy who, is terrible.
You're that guy.
I'm the opposite of the ringer. I'm the guy you bring along just to make sure people don't say, man, you guys got a good group. Oh, well, he's golfing. Oh, yeah. Don't worry about it. We're not worried about them. But anyway, it was good. It was a good time.
We had a good time.
I do want to get to one of the questions, and I apologize. I saw it come through, but we had a lot of other questions that pop up. And Drew Strands played for me at Grandview. Was a great kid and a good player for me. And his question was, we had several different things. You and Coach Ford are talking to each other, so stop doing that so I can read.
Text
this.
each other.
Yeah, no kidding. Stay off of our thing and do that. Golly, I think you know better. Anyway, tips for kids who have different jump shots versus their deep range shot and finding consistency between both. And I'll go ahead and start with it. But we were talking a little bit about it. The jump shot is almost a lost art because it's really hard to get kids, especially with everybody wanting to shoot that deep range shot, to practice jumping off 2 feet, elevating in the air, and shooting a shot that doesn't look like it's over their head, them throwing the ball, or they're shooting it on their way down.
Right.
So you have to have almost 2 different shots to shoot a jump shot and a deep range shot. There's the mechanics can still be consistent, but it's 2 different actions you're actually performing. So you guys go ahead and jump in anytime here.
We talk about the jump shot, but it is a completely different shot compared to behind the deep range 3. It's a completely different shot. And I like I said earlier, the complete jump shot is a kind of a lost art. And we talked about this, I think, one of the first couple weeks we were talking about the mid-range jump shot is a lost art as well. And I think that's because a lot of kids just can't shoot a jump shot. You can't shoot flat-footed mid-range because there's usually somebody right there by you. So I think that's kind of one of the reasons why the mid-range jump shot has kind of gone away, is because a lot of kids can't do it consistently and don't understand the technique and the side of that.
Well, and basketball's changed. You're either trying to get to the hole and throw it down, or you're trying to shoot a 3. There isn't too many mid-range stuff going on.
I try to teach all my kids to dunk because I think that's the most important, highest percentage shot.
Well, I said trying.
Wow. Oh, I'm
to
sorry.
Get there.
There's a reason my coaching record's pretty bad.
But I think that the jump shot, it
was
just
good
takes,
this year.
It does take a lot of work to, kind of get the jump shot where it needs to be. And a lot of kids don't want to put in that work. They want to take the glory of putting it behind the arc and shooting that 3 because, that's what the glory shot is at this point in time. It's all about the
3 goggles.
Yes.
I want 3 goggles, Coach. What the heck is that? Put your hands down and act like you've been there before.
Right. And so I think that's, and I wish if a girl – I had a girl in Sam Jarvis back a few years ago that could shoot the jump
great
shot.
Great last name.
Yes, she did. She had a great last name.
Best Jarvis shooter I've ever heard.
Well, I wonder if my brother's on here. You might have something to say about that.
Well, then there you go.
But she had a great jump shot. and she could shoot a jump shot from anywhere, really. And I, that was something that she just took it upon herself to do that. And it was a lot of work, but she was hard to defend because she could jump. And she could get up and shoot that mid-range jump shot that was hard to defend. And she was a above-average player for us her senior year because she really worked on it her junior year and to make that a good shot for her. And it really helped us her senior year.
Coach McVey, you're being relatively quiet here.
I'll just listen to the stories. No, it's just interesting.
Hey, you're on the show, by the way.
Okay, all right.
You get to actually say something this time.
But no, I think it just boils down to putting the time in, and like I said, it's different technique. Whether it's a lot of with the legs, just being able, whether it's 1-2 or if you want to go off both feet, but whether it's the legs or the back half of the athlete with the tricep shoulders, I mean, you have to develop. You can't just show up and just start randomly shooting. I mean, you have to have some form with it, and you have to have some practice, but you also have to build up your body to be able to do those types of shots. And I think that's a lost part of the game, is really just kind of building that body. But the thing about it is and you guys can tell me what you do, but as a coach, you only have so much time throughout the day, throughout the week. And honestly, I'm going to work on the skill set. I'm going to work on trying to beat you. Hopefully, maybe you get in a weightlifting class and you can work on it that way. But I think overall, if you got to put in that time, but it's a lot more with the lower half than it is anything else.
Well, if you think about it, like you just said, shooting's something you can do at home, and there's other stuff that we need to worry about here when you come to me.
Yeah.
But when we're talking about shooting and talking about jump shooting and shooting the jump shot or shooting the deep range shot, it always, to me, comes down to either a step-in guy or you're a spring or a bounce guy, because there's guys who can take a dribble, they can bounce off 2 feet, elevate, and shoot. And some guys can do that from 15 feet. They can also do it from behind the three-point line. But those are few and far between, because those are the kids who, where I'm from, down south, they are country strong, or they spend a lot of time in the weight room.
Or on the farm.
Well, that's country strong, Riley.
I don't know about that.
Well, sorry. Put on a rodeo the next time you guys want to come down to the farm. So you're either bouncing off 2 feet.
He'll put you to work, don't you?
Yeah. You don't want to do it. Bounce off 2 feet and shooting, or you're a step-in guy. And the majority of kids that I've ever coached are all step-in shooters. And if they don't, they end up having terrible footwork because they don't get their feet right, and they can't elevate off and get a little bit of air. They're shooting a set shot. And I tell them all the time, in the fourth quarter when you're tired, if you can step in, you're taking momentum towards the basket. So why wouldn't you want to be a step-in guy?
Was that about like that tackle you had off the four-wheeler to
on
tackle
those
that calf
things?
in the middle of the farm out there a couple weeks ago?
Funny stories you've seen for Coach Miller. So, another time. But that's kind of where I am when it comes to jump shooting and shooting the deep range, because I do think it's a different shot, but I think it boils down to, are you a step-in guy, or are you bounce off 2 feet guy? But if you're going to shoot inside the three-point line, you're going to have to elevate over somebody, because unless you're playing in the CYC league with your, in second grade, somebody's going to block that shot.
Yes,
and
sure.
You're going to eat it, and it's going to be bad.
I played in the CYC league.
Did you get your shot blocked because you didn't?
Never.
Jump?
I was a point guard.
You weren't allowed to shoot.
No, I actually brought the ball down and
pass
shot
it
the
to
ball.
the other kid.
I actually brought the ball down and shot it all the time.
Really? It's not a turnover, Coach.
I'd have 18 points a game, and we'd lose 25-18.
There you go.
So there you go.
Man. Wow. Ray, you need to be answering these questions. Forget us. Hey, here, it's 18 points a game? Which league? No, I'm just kidding.
CYC league,
I need a point guard who can do that. Oh, so let's move in a little bit, and we kind of hinted on it, and we got into our questions. When, let's just say, using shooting is one of those things, whenever we're talking about a kid who needs to change a shot and they need to adapt so that way they shoot better, and they need to change and they need to fix things, but they really maybe don't, or they're not progressing the way that they need to in getting better, and let's say they're a junior or a senior, so they're an upperclassman. And we also know that you have freshmen who come in who might be just as physically capable as this upperclassman, or they can do some things that you want for your program better. How do you handle that? How do you handle having an underclassman who you might want to play a little bit more than the upperclassmen?
Well, I think
Zach, I was about to say, you're jumping on this one.
I am. I think what you do as a coach and as you're running that program is you have to have at the beginning of the year, you've got to have some type of a parent meeting. You've got to explain everything. Here are our standards. Here's what the program means. This is what we want to do going forward. And what I always try and do is I tell the families after tryouts, at some point before our jamboree, we're going to sit down and we're going to talk about the roles for each individual player. Now, I'm hoping because you're at the varsity level that as parents you allow your child to let it be between the coach and the player. Because as they're growing older, they're going into adulthood, you're not going to be with them forever. This is an opportunity for them to listen to what a coach has to say, maybe, a boss, future employer, things like that, and say, here's the things you do well, here's the things you need to improve. But we'll always sit down right before the jamboree and say, this is kind of your role that we see you going forward. Now, you're always a rolled ankle away from your role changing, but right now this is kind of what we see your fit for this team. It can always change, blink of an eye, but this is kind of where you're at. And honestly, and maybe, Coach Jarvis, you can say talk about it, boys and girls are different. I think from a physical standpoint, when girls come into high school, a freshman can compete against a senior. Their bodies are closer, boys that maybe they haven't gone through puberty, things like that. But I don't have any problem. I'll tell the parents, I don't look at grade level. I look at, are they varsity caliber players? And if I don't care, we're trying to win at the varsity level. Lower levels you're trying to develop. We're trying to win ball games at the varsity level, and I don't care if I'm going to have a team full of seniors, team full of freshmen. Whoever can help win, we're going to put them out on the floor. But you have to have those conversations before you ever play a ball game with those upperclassmen. Say this is how it is.
Well, when I get done with tryouts, me and Coach Buddy will sit in my office. And we call in every kid, even if we're cutting them, whatever's going on, and we explain to them where we see them, what level we see them at, and the things they need to improve to get to that varsity level. And then when I have my parent meeting, I do exactly what you say. I tell the parents, if a freshman's better than a senior, I'm going to play the freshman. I don't care what grade they're in. Right. And, a perfect example is Jordan Duncan. I started out, he played JV.
Was he okay?
He was all right, and he was lighting it up. And I had a senior class. I had Matt Kaufman, who was a very good player. I had some kids that had played together a lot. And I decided halfway through the season, I'm putting Jordan in the starting lineup on the varsity. And it went all right. The kids realized, hey, we want to win games. We want this kid out there to win games, and we need him out there. So, that worked out in that situation. Sometimes you, as coaches, you don't make everyone happy. It's impossible. And sometimes you have to make hard decisions for the program. You're not there for just that one kid. You're there for the whole entire program. And sometimes that's hard for people to understand.
That could be a whole nother segment, the divide between the coaches in the program and the parents and their kid.
I'm going to write that down.
There you go. Hey, so I'm useful, right? Do I pass the test?
Hey, wait. Hey, listen, you can't give yourself.
I know, sorry. No, yeah. But, that you're exactly right, and there has to be buy-in because, honestly, if it comes down to it, a kid recognizes their skill set. They know. And if we're being honest, in this day and age, it's probably more – for the parents than it is for the player. And I think the players realize, I'm sure, Coach, you can say the same thing. I've had girls say, I don't want to go in because I don't want to lose it for us. Put so-and-so in, they're better.
I've had it happen.
Okay.
The girls' side are a lot more honest to do that. A guy probably, most part, I don't think I've ever had a guy tell me that. Have you, Coach Miller?
I'm trying to think back.
I know.
Usually we're not in a situation where we're ahead to lose it.
Oh, here we go.
Now listen, you're taking last year. You've been around a couple of my teams where it's like, well, they're going to play hard, and that was good, and that's what you expect them to do, and they're great kids, and they did everything they could do. But whenever I'm looking at this from a standpoint, I tell all the guys, look. What would you do if you were in a situation and you had a business? And I always try to look at it from a business standpoint because business and how post high school life, what it looks like. This is what we're going to be doing. We're going to go with the guy. If he's as good as you, I'm going to try to give you every opportunity I can because you've been with me the longest.
Right.
I don't know if Coach. I don't want to say him out here. I know he watches the show, and in my experience, I've seen a kid who was a senior, and he got to start for a couple minutes every game, but that was about all the time he got to play because there were underclassmen better than him. And, I mean, at the same time, you're looking and saying, okay, well, at least he's getting that opportunity. He's getting there because he put in the work. What you want is you want to give those guys who committed to it. They put the time – and because, look, not everybody's Michael Jordan. Not everybody's at that level. And some people have had those opportunities to spend more time honing their craft. So I give them as much as I can. But when I'm looking at trying to fill places, roles, whatever it is, who's going to make our team better? How do we get from here to here? I got to look at everybody. It doesn't matter what grade they're in. If I could, I mean, when I was helping Coach Ketcher's side play coach baseball at Grandview, we went down and played in that tournament at Graves County. Kentucky allows you to play middle school kids on your varsity.
Yes.
And I'm just like, well, what could that change? And I was thinking from a baseball standpoint, but I've seen some pretty good middle school basketball players that might not be, cream of the crop, top-notch, blue-chip kind of kids that you see, going to D1. But I'm thinking, man, that kid would have really helped if he, Kobe Klaus always comes to mind, in my opinion, of what we could have had. But when Kobe was a freshman, from day one, Kobe's starting.
Yeah.
And that was just the way it was. And I don't think any of those kids or anybody around was going to argue with that.
No, because I bet they all realized how much time he put in to that sport and to his craft, and it showed.
And
it really did.
I've had it in the past where I've had a couple of kids who one was a senior and a sophomore was pushing them. And it was getting a little contentious, and I just said, okay, go play one-on-one. I'll start whoever wins this. And I just – however that ended up being. There's a couple times there was a bloodbath, because the senior ain't going to want to lose.
Right.
But at least I had him give an opportunity to challenge, accept a challenge, and just keep his spot.
Well, and that could change throughout the year, too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you could have that senior that all of a sudden halfway through the year is not working like they were in the beginning. I've gotten to start every game, and that underclassman's right on their heels. And then all of a sudden that underclassman is better than them and is doing more things to help you win. And then you have to make that hard decision and start playing that underclassman.
And I think you put yourself out there as a coach from the very beginning that you're going to – this is what your expectations are, regardless of what age you are. And I think that's the most important thing is these kids need to know your expectations and what you're looking for. And I think that – Coach, both these coaches have said it, and you even said it yourself, Coach Miller, that I think if you talk to these kids before they even step on the floor to play a basketball game, and you tell them where you see them as what their role are on the program or on the team or whatever team they are on, they understand that. And then you say, hey, there's a possibility you could move up with this kind of effort or this kind of work ethic or whatever it is. It gives them a little bit of a challenge, and I think of that. We talk to our kids a little bit about that kind of thing. We challenge them to do a little bit more than what they're comfortable with. And I think that's where you put that predicament of a freshman maybe willing to put a little bit more work in because they see more years of this.
Yeah.
Or an upperclassman says, man, I've already put a lot of hours in. I'm not going to go above and beyond anymore. I'm already playing. And that's the mentality that I think that changes between a younger classman and an upperclassman is that, hey, I'm doing something to impress here. I can go out and do a little bit above and beyond, and it pays off. I think, and that sometimes is the thing that a lot of upperclassmen don't take into consideration what those younger classmen are thinking.
Well, and that's something else that within that same time frame, when we have our senior meetings, we talk about, first thing I talk about is entitlement, senior entitlement. Just because you're now a senior doesn't mean you are magically a starter, magically going to get the playing time, you're going to get X amount of shots. You still have to earn it. and we talk about servant leaderhood and leadership and things like that. But that's the first conversation we have with seniors is, listen, just because now you're a senior, you have to fight that battle of entitlement.
Yes.
And it is so huge. And if you have groups, I've had groups that have been awesome and groups that have been completely entitled. And it those kids that are really, really great leaders, the season's excellent, whether you win ball games or not. But you've had years where the senior group is just so I don't know, cantankerous, and just like, man, it's just such a long season.
To back off of what you're saying there, it's funny, Jordan's mom must be watching the show, and she just sent me a quote from Coach Don Meyer, who has 923 career coaching wins. You can pick your captains, but you can't pick your leaders.
Agreed.
Whoever controls the locker room controls the team.
That is huge.
And sometimes it's not a senior.
Agreed.
And I've had it, where it's a senior, and I've had it where it's not a senior. I've had it where it's a sophomore, and sometimes you, as a coach, got to figure that out too.
And then I tell my seniors, hey, just because you're a senior doesn't mean you're a leader. And the expectation is there's a difference. You're a senior and you're not a leader. Well, why? At this point, why are you not a leader? You've been through this for 3 years now, or 7 or 6, or however long you've been in the program. Why are you not a leader at this point? And I try to challenge them a little bit more after high school. You're going to put in that predicament to challenge yourself in the real world for the job,
in your career or whatever.
And you're going to go up against somebody that may be better than you. How are you going to prove that you're the best spot for the job? And there's just going to be so many opportunities in life that you're going to have to deal with that. And if they're never challenged at that age group or that young level, I think we're just setting them up to fail. And that's why I try to challenge our kids at the very beginning. Hey, you may have a freshman that's going to play over you. How are you going to handle that? Are you just going to let it go? Or are you just going to sit down there and say, hey, I'm going to fight for this spot. I want to play.
I saw this the other day, and it's paraphrasing. What happens is they talk about it being my playing time. It's not your playing time. It's playing time for the team and for the program. Right. Just because you're an upperclassman doesn't automatically make it. And you'll see parents say those same conversations about, well, you're taking my kids' playing time away. Well, I didn't know you owned the team. I didn't know you owned
Jerry
the program,
Jones.
right? And so that's once again, that's that entitlement that hopefully you can build up through your standards of saying, hey, we're
Terry Good says it. Name of the game in high school is winning.
Yeah.
And sometimes you got to make those hard decisions, and as a coach, sometimes it's not fun.
I'm going to go off of that, and I say that winning is winning every single day. Winning a basketball game is winning.
No.
Sometimes it's not, and I take a lot of pride in my program of talking about, hey, we get out there and we may lose a basketball game, but we won tonight because somebody stepped up or somebody did something that basically won it for us, or that opportunity. So there's a lot to do with the high school basketball, and high school basketball is all about winning. Yeah, that's 100% the truth. But it may not be at the end of the night on the scoreboard, the winning side of it. There's a lot that goes into winning.
Well, if we're talking about upperclassmen, and from a guy who had to fight and claw to get that starting spot, which when I was in school, that's what you wanted as an underclassman, was a start on the varsity.
Right.
And especially when we had good teams and we were pretty successful. So you had to fight and claw, but think about it. Think about it from this standpoint. When I get to the top of the mountain, where else is there to go?
Yep.
I have to stay there. Mm-hmm. So my coach would always push underclassmen, pushing at me, and it was now not just the fight. The fight was to get up there. Now it's a fight to stay there. Mm-hmm. So, I'm all about saying and telling our kids, competition's going to make you better.
Oh, yes.
So it's either you're going to compete against your teammate, and you're going to compete against those other guys here. Then you're going to go out in the real world and compete. Or let's be real, you're going to be a loser because you have to step up to those challenges. That's why we're here to teach you those things. So I try to incorporate that as much as I can. So when you said winning, it's not just winning the game. Did you win the drill? Did you win the down and back?
Yes.
Did you beat somebody else? Because if you're content with getting your butt kicked over and over and over in a drill and this, and you're not winning, well, that doesn't really show me that you're really interested in playing time, which you're not entitled to.
Correct.
There's
Well,
you're not showing that you are a winner.
And I take a lot of that. Even when we're doing our running drills or we're doing a figure 8 drill, where we're touching every line. I'm watching every single kid. Hey, if you don't touch that line, I'll call you out. Because are you winning at that point? You're failing. You're failing yourself. You're failing your team. You're failing everything that you've worked for by not doing the whole thing and not going above and beyond and doing what's expected of you.
Well, that's one thing I've changed in my practices a lot is I try to keep score with everything we do now.
Yeah.
Because, that way I can say, hey, look, you didn't score like you should have. And I'm not saying maybe it's scoring. It could be a rebounding drill, and you got to rebound it. Your team has to rebound it 3 times before you're out. I'm always setting some type of competition with those kids. And I know this year coming up, I got a bunch of sophomores, and they're good, I think. And I'm going to have a lot of
conference champs.
Not conference champs. This is Coach of the Year over here.
That was a fixed vote.
He had Player of the Year on his team. He was
They're
Coach
working
of the
on the
Year.
statue.
I know,
Listen,
statue at Pius
don't-
already 1 year,
you
and
don't
they've already erected.
live your life in the past. Let's look towards the future.
Well,
And
you're
the
just going to
future
keep
is
building
red.
on that. Yeah. Well,
Future's
hey,
red, he
I like the future that you're depicting, but I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of teams going to have otherwise, to say on that. But
They're in Perryville.
I don't know. I think they're right over there in Festus. They're probably in the weight room right now over there. But anyway, we don't have enough time to get into that. But
we'll edit that out
kind of
later.
got me off of my thought here. You always
You're
got to
welcome.
bring it back to this, and that's
You're
not
the
what it
one
is.
who starts
You're-
on that Coach of the Year crap. all the time.
After you just said we were conference champs, I didn't win a conference game this year. We did not win a conference game this year.
Mike Buddy puts down here Chris Miller Court. We're going to
I like it, Coach Buddy. Thank
That's
you.
a little sacrilegious.
No,
but
I
I get
say
it.
things like that.
Ralph
Come on,
Boyer
buddy.
Stadium. Ralph Boyer,
that's
Chris Miller.
rough.
Well, that's probably the new gym they're going to build.
It is. It could be. It very well could be. Hey.
I'll just leave it. I had a really good one. I'll leave it. I will leave that alone. Do you want to finish your thought?
No, you totally sidetracked
You're
me.
welcome.
You keep bringing up conference champs crap. We didn't win a conference game this year. I don't see us being conference champs just like that. We got a lot of work to
Hey,
do.
if those kids are listening, you heard it. Hey, jump in there and get after it. Because Coach Jarvis knows you got that talent.
Well, I just said I think we have a talented JV team.
You said that you think they're good.
I
That's
do.
right.
I do think they were good.
I hope my guys are watching and listening.
I hope they are too. But I'm going to have a lot of those competitions. I'm going to have on what kids in that sophomore class are going to help elevate us on the varsity level, and that's going to be a thing I'm going to have to do. And competition will be big and all that.
And that's why it's nice to have numbers, maybe not like the Riley Blair numbers.
Well, I don't have 80 out there.
I mean, that's hard. It's hard to manage that. Wait. When you got all those coaches, you can herd the cats then because that's. I'm telling you, it is.
It is sometimes. You've been to his practice
I
before.
know. I'm like,
I mean,
my ADD is going absolutely bonkers. I want to say he manages it extremely well. I couldn't do it. But that's why
he
you have to have a
he
lot
got
of
8
help.
coaches. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
he's got other. He's doing one thing with the varsity, and everyone else is doing all.
Hey,
this
that's how
other
you get all
stuff.
those great ideas. And he has a lot of great ideas.
I just go to his practice, and I'm like,
Steal.
Hey, can I steal some of your coaches so I can do this at my practice?
Sometimes I just show up and watch his practice, so I learn something too. See, we're not picking on you today.
Hey, I love it. It's great. I love it.
Look at him. He's turning as red as your shirt right now.
Or my head is right at that.
One thing I got to address here. Coach Ford, the only way you're coming back on the show is if my stocks go up. Okay? And if I start losing money from your advice, you don't ever get to come back on the show, and you can be on just do comments.
And if he sponsors with Livestream.
Oh, yeah. I'm not worried about that as much as Ray is.
Well, heck, he's going to be on next week now, right?
It's like
just throw a sponsorship up. You're on.
He's on.
He is on.
He can take this spot. I'll just stay home.
You'll just heckle. You sit over there and heckle us.
Oh, I would never do that.
Oh, I bet you would.
Okay, there's a good chance I probably would do that.
Well, that's why I was so happy to announce your game at Ava, so I didn't sit in the stands heckling you.
I still haven't watched you guys' broadcast.
Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? It's on the Roku channel.
It was a really sad game for him.
But we talked you up. We talked you up.
I find that extremely hard to
until the end.
It's like, man, that was really dumb. What is he doing? If I was him, I would do that. Just saying.
Shoot.
So let's get into this last segment, I guess. Ray,
make it pretty quick.
We want to talk about that stories, or did you get any stories or anything?
The only question, or the only story I got was the one that you texted me with.
Oh, great.
So here we are, story time.
Well, what do you got?
It was. Let me pull it up here real quick.
He wants to make sure you're on the same page and tell a different story.
All right, so here it is.
Is this the TV-friendly one?
Here it is.
Yeah, what story is this?
Did it involve Zima? Oh, wait, that could go for you too, Zach.
Man.
No, I got a joke.
Come on now.
I have probably joked more about you as Zima, and I don't even know if you like it or not, but it was just something that happened back at Grandview. And, yeah, I'll leave it at that.
So here's the question. Questions from Taylor Metcalf.
Oh, yeah.
Number one question for later on live stream, she says, for Coach Blair. What was going through your head when you put me in the corner my sophomore year during that tournament in the middle of the timeout? And she has smiley face but crying face at the same time.
Put you in the,
so
put her
there
in the
you go.
corner.
Nobody puts Taylor in the corner, right?
Well, there's a lot of history back with that situation. We were in this tournament game and we were struggling a little bit. We had some kids hurt and a lot of things happening, and I told her that to go and sit in the corner and get in timeout because she wasn't listening, wasn't doing what I asked her to do. I have a little bit of a relationship with her family, and I've known them for a long time, and so I said
one of as many coaches as her dad.
Yeah, Rob's probably like, could you just put her in the freaking timeout already? Good God!
But I tell you what, I think if you that question right there, that comment right there says it all. That's something she remembered because I was trying to teach her a lesson to understand that it's important to listen when your coaches are talking and that kind of thing. So I think that that situation in her sophomore year, she remembers that situation. That's something that sets apart from her. So
I'm surprised that you didn't have more to say about this underclassmen thing because I think she was your point guard as a freshman. Then the one before her was your point guard for 4 years. So who is the next?
Oh, that's what everybody keeps asking me is who is your point guard
Who is the next?
Do we have breaking news?
I mean, I think I know. Or have an idea. I might even talk to the person.
Do we have breaking news for live stream?
I'm just wondering who is the next point guard?
The decision part
4 year.
I will say we will have a decision once we get in the basketball gym. Unlike St. Pius over here where we can get in the gym, we cannot get in the gym.
You want to break into that? We can do that. Because I'm tired of being everybody's punching bag on this. I fight back a little bit now. Ray's like, please, God, no. He's like, I want to go home tonight.
No, it's been good.
I don't see any other stories out there.
I don't.
Stories
Thank
out
God
there?
Nobody has any. No questions, no stories. I don't have to answer.
Yeah, I know, it's great.
Yeah, we're really happy about this.
Well,
thanks.
All three of you guys are like, shh, because I know Jason mentioned he's just like, keep all the questions for all the other coaches during his little blip that he put across.
I really can't believe that Dan Boyer hasn't caught up on here.
That's true. That's true.
Here we go.
So I'm calling you out, Dan. If you got a story about Coach
I think
Miller,
we're
we'll
headed to end the
start it out
show right
next week
now
with that.
We can extend that into next week.
That's right. We can extend that
What
into
about
next
you,
week.
Zach?
I don't have. We could talk about all our middle school football days over at the
undefeated season.
calling the defense.
I think you looked at me one time and said, "How many blitzes did you just call in a row?" Like, oh man, I thought I was doing something. I have no idea what I'm doing. That was an interesting time.
Oh, I do have another question coming in, and it is from Justin Ford. Who is Pius's point guard? Because he needs to scout that kid early.
Yeah, I guess. Well, I don't know.
Yeah, because you've been in the gym.
Yeah, so who is that point guard? Yeah.
We're spending some time shooting and being socially distant. So
good. That's good.
don't know. Whichever one can dribble the ball better, I guess.
I do know it's not going to be Caden Cook, and I'm not upset.
Really? You know what? Maybe we'll do like some other Catholic schools around the state, give a fifth-year eligibility and come back and.
We could do that.
They do that?
No. I used to tease, I've teased somebody about that. It's like, good God, has that kid graduated yet or what? I will say this, whichever one can dribble the ball better and not throw the ball to the team wearing the other colored jerseys.
That'd be helpful.
More often. And that's also what offense we're going to try to run, is the one where we don't throw the ball consistently to the other team. There you go. There's your breaking news.
It could have something to do with the flex, maybe. I don't know.
He might have to go away from it, depending on how well we can dribble, pass, and shoot the ball.
That's true.
I don't know. Shooty said we're losing like 97% of our scoring.
He said that every week.
My dad told me the other day, he goes, you're only bringing 2 points back on your team. Really? Starting? Oh, okay. He probably just made up the number, so he's not very good with stats. But, do we have any more questions,
I don't
comments?
think so. I think that's all we got.
Man,
right
that's
there.
it. Well, we'll save all of Jarvis's for next week.
Speaking of stocks, he said that stock, by the way, went up 91 cents.
Yeah, I won't talk about it.
So we're just saying.
Justin, put all that into one message. There's like 7 comments right there. I love you, brother. Come on, you're killing me.
Well, there you have it.
Ray, we're going to turn it over to you.
There you go. Okay.
Call tonight.
All right, sounds great. Thanks so much for watching the Coach's Box tonight. Hey, don't forget, tomorrow we have over at Windsor High School, our Windsor High School graduation. I'll move all these graphics out of the way. And also we have Jeffco Diamondcast Baseball Thursday, 7:30 out at Rock Memorial. And if you're interested in sponsoring those games, give us a call. Give us a call over here at 314-852-4398 or live stream STL at outlook.com. For all of us here at Livestream STL, we're going to say so long. Have a wonderful evening. We'll see you tomorrow out at Windsor High School.